Carlton, West Coast and Richmond. Josh, what are the details?
Yeah, so this was the first three-teamer of the day, the one we were ringing the trade bell about here in the Fox Footy offices. So West Coast, Carlton and Richmond involved in this one. Carlton got pick 3, which is what they were after all along. They wanted to move up the order, get to pick 3. Great result for them. Liam Baker, as you can see there, gets to West Coast with Matt Owies and pick 12. Richmond was pretty simple for them. Pick 14 comes in for Liam Baker. A lot of picks around the edges there, but Carlton getting to pick 3 is a monumental achievement, I think, for Nick Austin from what they started with. They started really from what they've put out is Matt Owies pick 12, a future first and a future second, and they get into pick 3, they're Carlton, from the start of the trade period. I think it's a fantastic achievement for them. They're sitting in a really juicy spot from what we're expecting is potentially the best draft we might have ever seen.
So do you think they have a specific player in mind, or do you think they just rate the quality and depth of this draft so much that they just want to be as high as possible?
Well, I know they're really good recruiters at Carlton, but they've probably just knocked on Sam Walsh's door and said, do you have any second cousins who are in the top end of the draft? Fino Sullivan is his second cousin. Carlton really, really likes him. He's an explosive midfielder. Had some injury troubles, but he's the name that sort of comes up whenever you ask anybody around Carlton what they're thinking with that pick 3. He was going to be gone if they held on to those picks in the sort of 12 and 14. So pick 3 is a great result. Jono, you know a lot about the draft. Is he the man, or are there other names you'd be...
There's 3 or 4, absolutely, and he is one of them. The thing about Fino Sullivan, Dermot, I know you watch under-18 competition closely as well. He's been a standout for 2 years, so he's been able to do this, play good, consistent football through the under-16 period and through the under-18 period. So from a scout profile perspective, look, it's good, and it's only going to get better the more opportunities that he gets to train in an elite environment.
It's going to be a little bit tough for me to say this, but I saw him play that game against Sandringham. He came out and played for Richmond. I was watching for somebody else, and he kind of got knocked around a bit. It's going to be a wake-up call for him. Now, you don't pick them and saying, well, this is him at 17. But there's still some hard yards for him. So whoever ends up with him, you know, you're going to actually have to put him through his paces, and you're going to have to be patient with him because he plays as a midfielder and he still doesn't have that body that's required in AFL yet. He might take a half a year or a year to get his first game, but yeah, he got kind of manhandled a bit, but you could see he had talent, so good luck to him.
He's had sort of injury battles throughout this year, Fino Sullivan, and Sam Layler's another one who's had sort of injury problems. Fantastic cricketer as well as a footballer. He's a real accumulator, a big body around the midfield,
that
as
helps.
you can see there. Good stiff arm there, Derm. But yeah, hip and knee problems have really sort of scoured him. There's a couple other midfielders sort of at the top of the tree as well, Johnny. You've been looking at their numbers too. Harvey Langford and Jagger Smith. Jagger Smith just wins the ball sort of willy-nilly. So there's a lot of options there, and probably the other ones are probably going to go to Richmond given their draft hand.
Well, the advantage that Carlton do have, Derm, and you kind of led into it a little bit before, they don't have to rush. If they pick a kid, like he'll want a young man, he'll want to play instantly, and that's the top end, and whoever it is will walk in going, yep, I'm going to do everything I can to play early. But he's going into a midfield that is already extremely strong and well built already, and is in finals contention, even potentially premiership contention. So if you see one of these young men get called out and find their way into the round 1 team, look out. There's something special on the horizon because he's been able to fight his way into an already strong midfield.
Yep. He's a good size team. We saw him come over the top in that state game, leading out from full forward. There's a little bit of Horn Francis in that you can push him forward as well. Yeah.
Nick Dacos and Will Ashcroft have set the bar remarkably high, Jono, for top draft picks that just waltz in and take the competition before them. What about the West Coast Eagles and the fallout for them? We understand Eagles fans aren't too pleased to see what's gone down today.
You can kind of understand it because once you say pick 3 has left your club, and it's more a wait and see, isn't it? Because if pick 3 turns into an absolute superstar and they've missed a big opportunity, then that's where the Eagles fans will come back in years to come and say we had this perfect opportunity. But pick 12 could be exactly that as well. So they get Liam Baker in, who is exactly the player that they are after, and then they get to use pick 12 potentially on maybe on a homegrown talent for example. But when you look at the value of pick 3, the value of pick 3 is 2,234 points. So every draft pick's got a value. Yep. Pick 1's 3,000 and goes down from there. Pick 12 and 14 actually equal more than what pick 3 is. So I can understand why they've gone down this path.
It's a pretty big if.
The value's there because they had to do something to get Baker in the door because Fremantle started to circle with the draft selections they had. So to get Baker in, they had to make a call like this, and I still think they're pick 12. I know Don Pike has said we don't, it's not pick 3, but the reality is their pick 12 still could be very, very good
Don't know
player.
if that
and
was Pikey's best
could
moment,
turn
saying,
into-
yeah, we've got Baker in. Not as good a player as we would get for 3. I don't know, you should have said that.
Oh, no, he
That
wasn't talking
sort of-
about Baker then, though. He was talking about
I know.
pick 12, how
but
that could
in
be.
essence, the supporters will see pick 3's gone, Liam Baker's in. We could have swapped Barras for 14 with the Hawks, and we'd still have pick 3. And
They sat on their
and we-
hands early, didn't they? And that didn't happen.
Some-
That was the mistake.
the days of we used to turn up at the trade, and you'd have a warm beer and you'd want to get a pot of gold for it, but and everybody sat out till the end. They're gone. You actually see something going, you know what? That's within a couple. That's not too bad. And there is no way that the West Coast wouldn't have thought that original deal wasn't thereabouts, but they sat on their hands.
Yeah.
And now they're going to have to contend with what their supporters say about letting pick 3 go out the door.
I like